Hi everybody, this is Lynn from Creative Concept Crafts with the second in my orb series, and these are the two Christmas orbs that I'm releasing. So we have one that has snowflakes as the feature, which is this one here with Santa, and the reindeer are in a ring on the inside there. And we have three sentiments that go with that one: Santa season, happy holidays and Merry Christmas. So it's a different shape to the other orb. So that's the third one that's not on, which is Happy Holidays. I've put lights on as I did with the fairy orb and the wedding orb, but it's a totally different shape, and I'll show you the difference when we get to the end of the video once these two are completed. So they're cute, more like a Sputnik shape than an orb, but I really think they're so pretty. Grace a table, or you can use them as a hanging decoration, which I'm going to show you in a couple of minutes time during the video. So as with the fairy and the wedding orb, it's still 12 pieces that you need, 6 for the base, 6 for the top. And I've already pre-glittered and completed the top, which I've put a string in the top, if you can see that. I've used glitter crochet cotton. All I did was just punched through the acetate with my pokey tool on a sponge mat. And I've double knotted inside so that that's not going to go anywhere. Perfectly strong enough to hold the battery pack and the other half of the orb. So perfectly be great for a hanger for Christmas, or turn it up that way and you have a great bowl for nuts or chocolates, or maybe potpourri, or even a poinsettia display or something for your Christmas table. Battery operated candle. So that's the top completed, and I'm going to show you how to put together the base piece, plus I'll be putting the whole thing together as well as doing the plinth and the internals. So if you can see there, we've got the star on the top that comes across a straight line. The star on the base goes into a pointed line. Can you see the difference there? So I've split the design into two mats. The only one that is pointed at the top is the very top piece. The other 5 are all on a flat for the top. On the base it's the opposite, so the 5 are on a point. So the first thing you need to do once you've cut everything out, I'm just poking out a couple of bits inside the letters that haven't released, is just to score against the lines and burnish them down on each of the 5 sides. So there is a dotted line there, just fold along and then just burnish it down. I've already prepared the other 5 pieces, but they're all 12 pieces are done exactly as this one is, or if you want to make the bowl, it's just the base with the 6 pieces for the base. And like I said, there's 3 sentiments that go with the there's 4 sentiments that go with the star design. So you need 2mm red liner tape, and you can't really use anything much thicker than that, or otherwise it will come out onto the cut part of the design, and if you're glittering, your glitter will all stick to the tape. So it might be worth getting hold of some 2mm. I'm just doing a few dots and dabs on the text and on the star just to hold it on the acetate. You don't need to do it, but it's just a little bit of added security so that it doesn't get caught on anything and get torn. So burnish your double-sided tape down. It'll change colour as well, by the way, when you burnish it down. It goes darker, so you'll know that it's in position. So that's the piece ready. And as I've glittered the others, I'll complete this piece. So I'm just doing some dots and I'm just going underneath the text, just at the bottom part of the text. And now we're ready to start to put these together. That's the base piece, and it's the only piece where the fold lines go downwards. So I'm going to connect the 5 pieces together to start. Make sure that that straight line is at the bottom, and I'm going to take the one to the left and right of that base to connect together from one piece to the next. So you're just gluing the double pointed panel and then pick up the same piece on the opposite side. So it's just the one next to the base panel and just fold and glue together. I'm just going to flip it over. I'm being careful because that's the piece that I've just glittered and I don't want to smudge it. So you continue, fold up the next piece and glue. It's the same piece on each of them. So I'm going to repeat that until all 5 pieces are together. So that makes like a curve. We need to add if you're going to put lights on, you need to add it at this point, but that's how that's all going to fit together. So I'm going to bring in the lights, flip over, and I'm just going to hot glue the battery pack to the bottom. Put it in a position where you can get at the on-off switch, which is the little black button you can see on the side there. And I'm also just going to secure down the transformer and just a little bit of that wire, just so that it doesn't move and it all sits nice and tight into position underneath. So I'm just going to add a little bit of glue to the side of the transformer as well. And then I can pull the wire through onto one of those little V pieces. So that's it in position. So that you can get to that. Always make sure that your lights are working, by the way, before you glue them. So now we're ready to add that. Obviously with the glitter side facing outwards. You can either start at an end or start in the middle. It really doesn't matter. But you're going to glue one piece to each of the base points, double points. I'm starting with the centre one. You could easily just start at one end and work your way around. You just need to move the points out of your way to get these connected. Make sure that they're glued right into the corners as well. So the hinges will move around. Can you see that? They just lift, twist up, and they'll manoeuvre around so that you can just get to the next panel to glue that. So again, matching, hinging up, matching those points on both sides and firming them down, especially in the corners, continuing until all 5 are done. That's the last one. And then we have to join together the two pieces on the side, which were the 2 that weren't connected when we had the 5 together. So I'm just now completing the circle of the 5. At this point, that's your bowl. So if you wanted to do a table centerpiece for Christmas, you could add potpourri, you could add a candle, battery candle, you could add poinsettias inside, make a decoration inside of there. But I'm going to continue and complete the orb. So the next thing we need to do is to complete the plinth for the internal decor. So it's like a reinforced box lid. So you've got 4 little tabs and then you've got a double fold. If you fold that end fold backwards, it just keeps it out of the way and it makes it easier to add the little tabs. So you're adding glue to the 4 small tabs to start off. And it's just exactly like the same as doing a box lid. So just fold your tabs in into a right angle at the corner. And I'm just holding for a couple of secs until the glue starts to bite. So that's one side, and round to the other side. And the 4th one. So that's half of the plinth completed. Okay, now we just fold in the sides and add a 1/4 inch of glue onto each side of those pieces. It doesn't matter which 2 you fold in, it's just to hold it. And then I'll flip that over. I'm just putting a little bit of weight on, and that's the first thing that came to hand, one of my little tool tubs. And this is the centerpiece for the star, which is 4 stars. You'll see that the 3 are joined together so that you can cut them. I've already glittered them and there's little tabs on the bottom. Just bend the tabs in to a 90 degree. And then I'm going to bend them in and just crease them in between each one. And then I'm going to add some hot glue. Because it's glitter, I'm going to hot glue those 2 together. So it's just a matter of holding them for a sec. And that's the little circle of stars that are going to go into the centre of the orb. Need to finish the box off now, the little plinth, and there's a base piece for it, so just glue the 4 sides of your box and you can just pop that plinth into position. And again, just pop a bit of weight on there to just help the glue. Once that's bitten, we'll be able to add the plinth inside. And now, then we're going to glue those 2 pieces together all the way around. So on the star we have ho ho ho, Santa season, season's greetings and Merry Christmas, which I've already got on the bowl itself. So we're ready to add the stars to the plinth now. I'm going to add hot glue. You can either hot glue it into the centre, then add the decoration, or put the decoration in and then add it. I find you've got a little bit better push to be able to house that down and then add the little tabs afterwards. Doesn't really matter which way around you do it. So I'm adding hot glue now to those 4 tabs. Then we can just pop that down onto the plinth. I have to say that these orbs do look better when there's a contrast colour in the centre, because there's the decor on the outside. You can lose what's inside if it's not a different colour. So just something you might like to bear in mind when you're cutting them out. So I'm just putting the lights on now because I'm going to glue these into position. So I'm gluing the wire in between the lights where I want. I'm putting a couple of these round the base and then feeding inside up and round. So there's the lights in position now. I just think these make such beautiful gifts, whether it's the wedding or the fairy orb, or indeed either of these for Christmas. They make really beautiful decorations and beautiful gifts. So now, the one thing you need to watch, if you've got text on your base, make sure that that top piece, your star, is facing the same direction as the text. Can you see that? I've got the point of the star going down towards those plinths. And I'm going to attach those two tabs first to make sure that we don't get them wrong. So I'm going to add glue to the first tab. You will find that the next piece, you'll have to flip them out of the way. The next panel that you're gluing, because it tends to flip up. Just make sure I get this the right way around again. And again, you're just going to go, whether you go from left to right, right to left is not important, but you're just going to go from one double point to the next one, gluing them all together. And you will find that there's a curve as you start to create this. That's what changes the orb into like a spaceship type of shape. It's really cool. I could have gone with the same shape, but I thought, no, I want them to be different, so this is what I came up with. You see, I'm just trying to get those pieces out of the way so that I can connect. It's important here to make sure that the corners are connected. Because you've got that curve, they will try and flip open. So what I'm going to do is add some pegs into the corners. So I've got that lining up, the top star to the text. That's the first two connected. And I'm just holding the corners. It's the outer corners of each of the acetate pieces, if you will. So moving on to the next piece. It's a little bit more tricky to put together than the fairy and wedding orb is this, but it's not difficult. It's just a little bit fiddly in the corners here to make sure that you've got everything glued down and in position. So systematically there's two of the double points to each of the panels. So in all there's 10 to connect. And again, I've used 220-gram card here. It's nice and firm when it's completed, and the acetate is, I'm not sure what the micron is, but it's not a thin one. It's quite a sturdy one. So I'm just adding the pegs now to hold the pieces that I've done up to now. It's just in the corners at the outer edges of the acetate that need the peg. The centre of the acetate seems to be okay, but it's just that end of each side. I managed to pick up this little box of pegs from Primark, I believe. Just thought, ooh, I like the look of you. So there's our orb completed as a decoration. Isn't that pretty? Not difficult to do. Take a little bit of time, yes, with the acetate and the pieces that need putting together. Now what I'm also going to do, I'm going to add some stars to the outside. On the other orb, on the other Christmas orb, I just added Santa and a reindeer to the front. I'm going to put them where the pegs are, so in the corners of the acetate pieces. So just literally a dot of hot glue is going to be put on the back. Just got to position, but just a tiny dot, and then just add it to the edge and just tuck. Just holding it for a second. You don't have to do this, although I decided to go all the way round on this particular one. So it's just a matter of pushing it onto those points. That's all it needs. It doesn't need any more than that. So like I said, on each corner of the acetate pieces is where I'm placing these. So there's 5 in total. Just removing all the pegs now. And there is the orb completed with all the stars. So twirling round, it's really, really pretty as well. Pop the lights on. And we'll bring in our other orb, the other Christmas orb, the snowflake. So that's the star orb. The one with Santa and the reindeer is the snowflake orb. Could have gone all the way around with those as well, but I just decided to put them at the front near the text. I've also done text for the top, so you could put where the front snowflake is showing there, you could put text in there. And this just shows you the difference in shape between the Christmas orb and the wedding orb. One is much more rounded with the petal shape, and the point shape is quite a bit flatter. So there we have our orb collection. 4 pieces in total, but also as always available as separate SVG files. Hope you like it. Until the next time, bye for now.